What up? What up? What up? 3 letter going down my Twitter, and all these clips are playing, and I'm trying to tweet out this link for this live. What's good, y'all? Good morning. Salute. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Sunday morning. We live. Sorry. It's true. So 15. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of topics. Shout out to everybody coming in. I'm going to jump to the chat in a second. I see y'all. I'm jumping to the chat in a second. We're going to talk about Ja Morant. We're going to talk about Math versus Charleston. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Eazy The Block. Eazy The Block Captain. We're going to talk about Michael B. Jordan. We're probably going to talk about Chris Rock's new Netflix series. Man, we got a lot. We got a lot to talk about. Netflix show and more. Why not? We're going to talk about some RBE updates. We got a lot going on today. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. We definitely got a lot of stuff to go over today. We got a lot of topics going down. Boy, oh boy, there's a lot going on. So we're going to chop. Glad everybody's tuning in. Happy Sunday once again, y'all. Appreciate y'all rocking. I see y'all in the chat. Let me jump to the chat for a second. We got Big Unk TV in here. We here. I see you. We got Ivan Ooze. What's up, AR? Salute. Salute to the chat. Salute, G. We got Tay in here. Ayo. We got MVM, men versus many. Yeah, easy for show. Okay, you want to hear the easy topic. Everyday Rich. Stop. Don't be like that, man. Don't be like that. Hitman's bag. I fell asleep on the Chris Rock joint. Well, the end of it, the last 15 minutes is where he gets into the Will Smith shit. I think that's what everybody was looking for. So you might as well go ahead and finish that. But we'll get to that. Derek Huntington, salute, much respect, ARP. I appreciate that, homie. Mr. Jake and Snuff, message me if I can make you any custom stuff. RBE. Shoot me a DM, man. I appreciate you. You know, we might have you shoot stuff over to the PO box, man. We show love. Easy needs to battle somebody next, then Daylight. Oh, y'all want to see Easy versus Daylight? Okay, Hitman's bag, and that's what I missed the last 30 minutes. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get to the Chris Rock shit. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? Happy Sunday. Once again, we are here now, episode 15. Oh shit. Went down the wrong pipe. Oh fuck. He was like, this guy can't drink water. Episode 14. I didn't really chop up. Damn, killing myself with water over here. But this one, because we got so many topics, episode 15, I'm definitely gonna chop this one down for y'all, upload the individual pieces. And I'll probably try to time mark this one for y'all in case it goes like over an hour. So if you look in the description box, it'll have, you know, the time marks to skip to whatever topic that you're looking for. So we'll get there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of stuff to go over. I got some new pickups sitting in front of me before we jump into our topics. If you follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter and IG, y'all. ITSARP @ItsARP. I've been on a Yeezy 350 boost like spree, crazy. I got the MX Rock ones right here. It's like the brown and the black. I got the pink joints, real light pink, but they pink. And I got the Onyx ones right here. You know, I got the ones that got like the red letters in them. I got the red stripe. I got the blue stripe. I got the brown stripe ones that are black. But this is the all black. No other colors in there. So I figured, you know what? Let me get those. You never know when you do some all black from head to toe type of situation. I'm running out of colors. I seen some that was on the web that were neon green, glow in the dark. Shit was like $1,000 or something like that. But there wasn't no authentic type of check with it, where I was looking the site that I was on. And if you're gonna spend $1,000 on some sneakers, especially if you get them off the web, you better make sure that they're going through that authenticity process. Like eBay does that. Some people buy sneakers through those type of veins where they go through like an authenticity check and all that. Then the sneakers come, all that type of shit. You spend $1,000 on some sneakers, you better get that option. And when I seen the glow in the dark shits, I didn't have that, so I left them shits alone. But I might get the glow in the dark ones. I don't know. I gotta hunt those down. But yo, everything is everything. It's been a regular week on the RBE side of things. We got some stuff coming up. This Saturday, right? Yeah, this Saturday is the 11th. What's the date here? Yeah, this Saturday. We in VA with it. Shout out to Lawrence and Winged. We got the intake card coming. Let me pull this flyer up. There's probably like 20 people on this shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 18. Jesus. It's 20 plus battlers. So y'all gonna get a shitload of battles on this. I see Ruin Your Day on this. So shout out to Avo. I think he's out there filming this for us. We try to have everything that goes to the RBE channel when it comes to battle shot by Ruin Your Day. We just want to make sure that we keep and maintain that type of quality for y'all. Those battlers get the opportunity to have that type of presentation as well when they're on RBE. We don't want to cut any production corners when it comes to filming battles anymore. So yeah, shout out to Lawrence and Winged, the intake card. I'm not sure if I heard of any of these names that's on the card, but it's gonna be dope to see a lot of new talent. It's gonna be dope to get y'all on the channel. Hopefully all y'all get to the channel. Like some of y'all, if there's if it's a 1SK, for example, and it's a bunch of choking or whatever, we're not gonna waste our subscribers' time uploading that. So that stuff like that will not make it. But I was going back and forth with the team early this morning, and I was trying to throw one of my ideas out there. I don't make all the decisions when it comes to the 1SK cards. I don't make any decisions at all when it comes to the 1SK cards, or when it comes to the intake cards or the intake series that is going to start rolling out for y'all, or even the brick by brick cards. And then even most of the new today age going forward, blood, sweat, and tears cards, I'm going to have a less role in the development of those cards. You're going to see that really kind of led by Winged and Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people hit me up. They still DM me. I appreciate that. Yo, how do I get on RBE? How do I get on this? How do I get on that? You got to go to Lawrence and Winged. You know what I'm saying? I concentrate on a lot of other things. There's a lot of people I got to deal with. There's a lot of coordination I got to deal with. There's a lot of negotiations I got to do. And then the larger cards and the larger artists and all that type of stuff. I want everybody to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? I still interact with everybody. You know what I'm saying? As much as I can. But, as far as putting those cards together, we have our areas within RBE where people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not hands-on with that. You know what I'm saying? So please go to the proper people when y'all are trying to make an intake card or a brick by brick card, or if you're looking to get signed on RBE, or you're looking to get a first plate on RBE, you're looking to show your talent to RBE. Please go to the right people, y'all. But this Saturday, please pull up, go to my IG, go to Wings IG, go to Lawrence's IG. The flyer is up there. It's got the address on there and all that. And there's going to be a shitload of talent in the building. We in VA once again. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe if we spot somebody where it's just like, oh, that's a star right there, diamond in the rough, put him in front of a vet immediately. That's how we started in 2013, 2014, booking like that. People right in front of stars. We didn't care. Or maybe it's like, all right, that was a good showing. Let's see what they could do now in 3 rounds. Let's have another test. Let's have a 1SK graduate versus 1SK graduate. Let's have a brick versus a graduate. Let's have somebody that jumps right to getting signed. Let's put somebody right in front of a vet. All of that is on the table. Well, I feel like it should be on the table depending on how you kill that stage, what you come with. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of talent out there, and I want us to keep having the opportunity to see these people. Of course, on our major cards, you're always going to see 1SKs. I think we are the only platform in battle rap that does that. I'm proud of that. It's been like that forever. You could buy a stream that has Hitman versus Cassidy. You could buy a stream that has Murder Mook versus Averb's Return. You could buy a stream that has Hollow the Don versus Ill Will. And you're going to see people that you may have never heard of before open up that pay-per-view. And that's a dope opportunity to give people. I think that's dope. Coach Coleon, for example. Coach Coleon is a signed RBE battler. He still has all the freedom to do whatever he wants, battle wherever he wants. He could end up on the Bags and Body show with Hitman Holla and film in the mansion for a month. You know what I'm saying? Or he could end up on this league over there, or he could end up on our last card in front of B Magic. You know what I'm saying? The first time that I ever saw Coach Coleon was on Max Out. It was a 1SK on Max Out. I think it was Max Out Part 1. You know what I'm saying? And I was just chilling, watching the card, watching the stage open up, and there was Coach, and he put on. And then we followed up, and next thing you know, he's one of the guys that I'm calling as one of my killers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna see Coach on the next card. I didn't even speak to Coach yet about the next card, but I want him on the next card because I'm just like, yo, this guy, like, I'm such a fan of his. And the point that I'm making is about the development of taking these type of opportunities to be seen, whether it's a 1SK, whether you land on a pay-per-view and you're opening up a card, or whether you are on an intake card this Saturday, whether you're on the second intake. I see Winged already put out for April the second intake card. So Lawrence and Winged is working. So you could be the next Caution, or the next Remedy Local, or the next Payne, or the next Coach Coleon, or the next Jay Breed, or the next Zay, or the next. I could keep going. I could keep going, and you're gonna see even other bricks get more plates this year as well. I want to see people like Tato and Laji and Def the Kid, and we got 6'8" over there. We got Major over there. We got so many bricks. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see them continue to get some of these looks to the point where I see vets call them out, because you'd be surprised behind the scenes when we put some of these people on camera. You think I haven't gotten a call after Coach's performance versus B Magic with somebody mentioning Coach to me? I could do a stream with Averb. I was on Averb's show last week, and he asked me about the bricks. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I didn't bring that topic up. He was just like, yo, what's up with the bricks? Who's the lead guys? Or can I bring 5 people to challenge your bricks or whatever? This is because they're out there moving and they're creating chaos out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's all part of their progression. You know what I mean? And we got their back. So yeah, let's keep the ball rolling. But yo, pop out this Saturday. Once again, what's the address? Let me pull this up real quick. Where we at? HRC 2025 West Pembroke Ave. This is in Hampton, VA, y'all. Hampton, VA, this Saturday, 1 p.m. I suggest you get there about 12:30-ish before doors open. Oh, that's all y'all charging? That's it? Oh, y'all giving them all these battles for? I might as well say it since they put it on the flyer. It's $20. $20. I don't play about money. I don't think money should be ever taken for granted, but $20 for all these battles? It's like 10 battles and shit, maybe more. So yeah, y'all gonna have some fun. Shout out to everybody that's gonna pull up in VA. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's gonna be out there. RBE is in the building. Get an opportunity to meet people, shake hands, introduce yourself, see some battles, possibly get on intake part 2. You never know. You know what I'm saying? What else is going on with RBE before I get into some of these topics? What do y'all want to see next? I'm going to put out 3 options. Assume that of the 3 options, one of them is already decided and already in flight, okay? Do you want to see Max Out next, where we go into Believe Music Hall and I get on the microphone and I scream, "Do you believe?" 20 times and all that shit and try to ruin the battles? And we do some wild ass shit like that with a big room feel. Do y'all want to see that? I want another big room card from RBE, Max Out shit, Max Out 3. Or do you want Divide and Conquer 2, where we go back into that blue room? That blue room is a thing. That blue room is a thing. I got it pinned to the top of my Instagram because I love that room. I love that atmosphere. I love the footage. Ill Will and Hollow is on the way. I just spoke to Avocado. He edited in the multiple camera views now. It's going to look completely different than the VOD. It's going to be highlighting the action moments and all that. So we're going to start rolling out the Divide and Conquer Part 1 card. So you guys are going to see Ill Will and Hollow on our YouTube channel. You're going to see Big K versus A-Ward. You're going to see Caution versus QB. You're going to see B Magic versus Coach. You're going to see Payne versus Bad News. And you're going to see it all. You know what I'm saying? What else do we have? You're going to see Rosenberg Raw versus Jag. You're going to see the 1SKs. We're going to roll that whole card out now for y'all. Y'all going to see the vibe for people that either didn't see the pay-per-view, didn't see the VOD, or wasn't in the building. the vibe, and this footage is going to be even enhanced anyway by Ruin Your Day. That's going to drop on my channel. But the vibe of that blue room is something. Or the third option, do you want to see, this is just being creative. What if we had a mix of both, right? Or what if you took like a max out card and you put it in a blue room? Could that be crazy? I don't know. What would you guys like to see for the next large scale card from RBE? Um, I think by the time we drop Ill Will and Hollow, which is on the way, could be, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I think by the time that drops, I think we're gonna put up a pre-sale link. And when we put that pre-sale link up, I don't know if we're gonna announce the main event or if we're just gonna maybe hint to the possibilities of the main event. I will tell you this though, it's locked in, it's contracted. I would highly suggest that whenever we put up a pre-sale link for this upcoming large scale card, that you go get yourself a pre-sale ticket. You can hold off if you want. You could wait until you see let me see the full announcement. Let me see the co-main event. Let me see the third. Let me see the full card. If you can't get into that building, just remember you were warned. And it's gonna be a situation where we're gonna have to be real careful with the guest list as well. And we did that at Max Out, and we did that at Divide and Conquer before, where we did it on both sides rooms, where you get to a point where some of these cards get so anticipated where we got to be real careful with even how many VIPs we can do. We can't do everything. We show love, but capacity is capacity and fair is fair. We always appreciate the support. But when we put this pre-sale link up, I suggest everybody get a ticket, regardless of how we decide to announce it. We'll probably make it a little fun, a little creative, but remember, we the king of creativity over here. I think we claiming that. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we did the Rare Breeze card, and we did the flyer, and we was announcing it in mystery battles, just like blacked out silhouettes on the flyer. And then like halfway through the announcements, as we was like revealing them, they started realizing that the rest of the silhouettes isn't matching up what was there initially. Like, oh, these shits, that's not really the battles anyway, because people was figuring out the silhouettes, like that silhouette right there, I think that's Aver. That silhouette, right? I remember that picture right here. And then you get down to the announcement 6 and realize like the silhouettes don't match the real battle. It's like we fucked it up. We fucked y'all up with that. You know what I'm saying? So we do shit like that. So however we decide to put out the first announcement or tease the first announcement or whatever, I would suggest very highly that you guys get your pre-sale tickets. It's always, we don't do cards, that you might have to pay $40-$50 for, whatever, to come see live or catch a stream for, and it's not worth it. We always make it worth it. Y'all know how RBE does. So once again, pull up this Saturday in VA and keep an eye out for the next releases for the full battles from Divide and Conquer Part 1 on the channel, and keep your eye out for some possible releases or announcements. All right, we are working. What else is going on? Before I get into these topics, once again, anything else that I should touch base on? I have an idea for a 2-on-2 match that could be on the Max Out card. 2-on-2s, we decent. I'm not really huge on 2-on-2s. I love the DNA and Clips 2-on-2 we put together. I always thought that was a better pairing than like Clips and Goods, because DNA and Clips, obviously, they're like brothers and they both freestyle off of each other. And I think that's why when we did Clips versus DNA, versus the Cannons, Big Cannon and Young Cannon, even that was kind of cool, putting together creativity wise the two Cannons and the two brothers. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why DNA and Clips did so well. And that's like the only 2-on-2 that we've ever done. And look at the turnout of it. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys went crazy. Either DNA or Clips or both of them promised me that they would never pair up again unless it was on RBE. But they did it on the Pat Stay Forever card. So it's a green light. If it wasn't that, I would sue y'all. All right. So shout out to Clips and shout out to D-Nay and shout out to the state forever. I think they say it raised over like $250,000. Don't quote me. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. That's just so dope, man. The culture came out. The culture came out. Culture definitely came out. Speaking of the culture, man, it's like, do you see that we're still talking about the Chrome 23 card? Isn't that dope? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's any given Saturday, you know, divide and conquer card could finish, and it's just like, oh my God, it's like best event of this, blah blah, it's pandemonium, this happened and that happened, or this person got bodied, or this person lost, or this person won. And then you got Chrome 23, and it's just like, yo, we got to talk about all of this, the good and the bad. It's just all healthy energy. You know, like sometimes when we got controversy, the shitty controversy, like with somebody's losing, like let's say somebody got robbed or fucked over, or the fan, something, you know, something real crazy, then, you know, I'm not gonna say like good publicity is, or any publicity is good publicity. I ain't gonna say that. But I mean, look at what we're talking about for the most part. You know, who won, or what does this mean for Hitman? What does this mean for Eazy? And we're gonna get to Eazy's topic, you know, in a couple. I got him like third on the topic list. We're gonna talk about Eazy the Block Captain specifically. But it's just dope. It's just dope to see all the energy. King of the Dot come out and shut shit down. URL could come out and shut shit down. RBE could come out and shut shit down. Chrome 23 could come out and shut shit down. Bullpen's got a card coming up. They could come out and possibly shut shit down, you know, depending on how those battles turn out. You know, and I think that's always been so dope for the culture. I've always been such a big proponent of, you have different leagues, different owners, different platforms, different ideas, different creativity, different matchup styles, different types of direction, all this type of stuff. And the fans really just care about the battles, you know. So you got all this different moving pieces to elevate and give us content and give us battles and give us moments. And that's what we need. That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're looking for a pay-per-view, whether you're looking for an app, whether you're looking for a stream, whether you're looking for a YouTube drop, we need all of it. We need all of it. So shout out to everybody that's putting on in the culture, as always. I see Ruin Your Day in the building. Shout out to Ruin Your Day. Said early morning stream. Yeah, early morning streams is something you gotta deal with. I would cut this bitch on at like 5 o'clock, but I know y'all don't wake up the way I wake up, so I left that alone. All right, but now we here. Yo, Avo, if that's you, Avo, send me that main event, man. It's time to let the people see that Hollow the Don versus Ill Will main event from Divide and Conquer. It's time, man. It's time. All right. Let's get into topic number one. Ja Morant, I have down first. And like I said, for anybody that's just joined the stream, we're going to talk about Ja Morant. We're going to talk about Matt Hoffa versus Charleston White. We're going to talk about Eazy the Block Captain specifically. We're going to talk about Michael B. Jordan on the red carpet. We're going to talk about Chris Rock's new Netflix special. I might toss in there some kind of feedback on how I feel about Snowfall and The Last of Us right now. I might even talk a little bit about the fight last night, the Jones fight last night. You know, I'm not a huge UFC fan the way that I used to be, but that was a big fight last night, you know, so we might talk about that. But all right, let's start it off. Ja Morant. So what's going on with Ja Morant right now? Ja Morant is in the headlines. I'm pretty sure everybody knows in here who Ja Morant is. A superstar NBA player that plays for the Memphis Grizzlies. We can't dance around it at this point and say that he's a rising talent. We can't say that he's a star. He is a superstar. What makes a superstar in the NBA? Of course, your game and your play, the attraction to you, the ability to be a franchise player, right? The ability to make all-star games, the ability to be a draw, the ability to put fans in the seats, the ability to be the reason why people watch that game tonight, or watch you in the play, or anticipate the playoffs because you're in. We know what constitutes a superstar in the league. And make no mistake, Ja Morant is one of them. You know, his style of play, you know, he jumps through the fucking roof. He's like a Allen Iverson, it almost feels like, with more hops. You know what I'm saying? Because his style of play, he's got a little bit of that street ball in him. You know what I'm saying? Like the type of moves that he pulls off his handles. So that's an attraction. You know what I'm saying? His look, his image, you know what I'm saying? Like the young black kid. He's 23 years old. It's a kid to me. It's 23. I knew what my mind was at 23. And we'll get to that part of why we even talk about Ja Morant in the first place. But his image is young, is people's gonna draw to it. You know, it's gonna gravitate, the whole hip hop culture is gonna gravitate to him. These companies even play on the hip hop culture by playing certain music, doing certain commercials, because the hip hop culture is appealing to the masses, to the eyes, to the world, to the world, to the ears. You know what I'm saying? So this is all drawing to somebody like a Ja Morant. He's a superstar. And I already spoke about how talented he is. You know what I'm saying? So he made headlines recently, right? First headline comes out about Ja Morant, and they say it was like a teenager or something like that. An accusation came out that he supposedly, beat up on or punched on some teenager and pulled the gun on or brandished the gun towards him, right? Now, when that report first came out, I took it only with a grain of salt because I haven't seen any proof. I could understand being in his shoes as a superstar, multimillionaire. You know, celebrities go through it all the time. There's a lot of celebrities that have true accusations on them, sex offenders and or assaults or all types of shit. That, like, celebrities have done a lot of wild and fucked up shit. Just because they're celebrities doesn't mean they're not regular everyday people. We put them on these pedestals and we really need to look at them as just regular people. I understand that they have a certain responsibility in the public eye, especially if they have a following, but at the same time, they're still people, they're still humans, right? So this kid, I'm going to keep calling him a kid because that's my perspective, and I want to drive that home as we continue to talk about this topic. This kid got a grain of salt from me when I heard those reports, because that happens to celebrities. Somebody could be looking for a check. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he beat me up, or he pulled a gun, or whatever. About, could have been a cell phone for all we know. Could have been a cell phone. Somebody say, nah, he drew. You never know. At that point, sometimes it just becomes my word versus yours in court. Next thing you know, somebody's trying to settle out, and they got the money, just like, get out of here. Here, take this $250,000 and get out of my face. And some accuser, you know what I'm saying, or alleged victim gets a payday. You know what I'm saying? So I gave it that grain of salt. And I do understand that Ja Morant also has prior incidents. I don't know all the details about him. I didn't see him with my own eyes. So I'm not the person that just sees a headline, hears news, and jumps out the window and says, "Oh, you did it. That's you. That's what you did. I saw a news article that said that you beat up some kid and you drew a gun on him. Ja Morant, you the worst." I don't do that. Could it be false? Yes. Could it be true? Yes. That's how I move. But I feel like the real bad step after that, the reason why it gets compounded after that, the reason why he just got suspended, is it's either he's suspended for 2 to 3 days, right? Is because he's on camera and it looks like he's in a club or a strip club or something like that, and he brandishes a gun, brandishes a handgun. What does the video look like? Let me go topic within a topic mode, because I'm gonna get off Ja Morant for a second, but I'm gonna stay on the topic. It's something that truly, truly disgusts me. I do understand that some of it comes with a level of, or a high level of, immaturity, right? Some of it also comes from the nature of what we find appealing, especially in the Black urban hip hop culture. We gravitate to certain movies. We gravitate to gangsters. We care about who's snitching. We care about who's really about the shit that they rap about. That's our culture. Who's really in the streets. Some of us were young, and you might look up to the drug dealers in the neighborhood, or right. There's a lot of people that have these stories, and what we gravitate to, especially in the Black community, the urban community, the hip hop and culture and hip hop community, we gravitate to negativity a lot. I'm same way. I'm not saying that, I'm not casting judgment, because who didn't? I rooted for Scarface too. You know what I'm saying? like sorry, it's true. Sorry, it's true. So I do blame some immaturity to a degree. But I also see, and some of it is the wave of social media. When it comes to people brandishing guns, the way that some of y'all go about it, and when I see it, I have, and I'm gonna use the word respectfully, because if you say the word respectfully, you take out or ability to disrespect somebody, right? Respectfully, I feel like a lot of y'all, I can't say all of y'all, let me still be open-minded, but a lot of y'all be goofy, lame chumps by brandishing guns in that type of way on the internet. When I see people, they do this shit, they holding it by the clip, like the ladder. A ladder is like a long, like let's say a 30 clip, right? That's more so like Philly slang, like a ladder, right? Think about the steps. It's like the bullets for a long ladder. Anyway, right? When I see people holding it by the clip, or when you hold it, you know what I'm saying, by the back, and they on the camera and they swinging you know what I'm saying, they're not even holding it, which, you know, I don't want to see that neither. You know what I'm saying? But this shit, when you see people do that, it's like a fad. It really is like a fad. Like I could pull up 100 videos easily of people doing that shit. You know, some of them driving in the car, listening to music. Some of them sitting in the living room. Some just cut on the camera. They man cut a This shit is like a fad. It's like the look of showing off your gun, right? Brandishing to me is a very, very weak, lame, goofy, stupid, and weak presentation and character attribute to a lot of the people. I won't say all once again, but to a lot of them. I see a lot of rappers do it. I see a lot of just general people on the internet do it. I've seen battle rappers do it. That's my opinion towards it. Brandishing. I feel like there's a lot of people where they're overwhelmed by the power in their hand of a gun. A gun is an extreme tool. It could take somebody's life like this, right? And to hold a gun for look at the Big K line. First time you ever shot a gun, first time I shot a gun, I don't want to spoil it too much. I don't want to promote the line too much, because when that battle's about to drop, and it's like one of the haymakers of the year to me. And I know a lot of people have seen it, but that's the power of holding a gun for the first time. We watching the last of Us roll out right now, when Shorty, what's her name, L or whatever, what's her name, L, whatever, first time they show her holding a gun, she's so intrigued by it. She's just, and a lot of us that held guns for the first time, whether legally or illegally, felt that way. You feel the power. You feel the rush a little bit. It makes you feel stronger. You feel a little bit more courageous. It's like some of you motherfuckers drinking at the bars. It's like, I ain't talking to no women in here until I get 2 drinks in me. That's you drinking your courage. It's cool. The point that I'm making is I understand it. But when you get to a certain age and a certain level of maturity, especially if you present yourself as a real and a sturdy and a strong and a solid and a mature person, if you on the internet doing this or brandishing for no reason, you're not my cloth. You're not my character. So that's just a subtopic. And I think y'all are goofy and corny as shit when y'all do it. You know what I'm saying? I know people that got 1 million guns. They've never shown them on camera. They've never brandished them. They've never tried to toil and play with them just because that's what everybody else is doing on the internet. I remember the wave in hip hop when it became corny to brandish guns and everybody stopped for a second. The DVD era, that was good. And I remember it came back. Remember when it came? I remember AR Ab, you know, when he came back, where he stopped brandishing and then he started brandishing again, to the point he was in his interviews like, yeah, I show my guns on camera. So what? Because it came back again, it became popular again. You know what I'm saying? Social media is that. People want to show these elements, and I feel a way towards it. I did that subtopic within the topic because that's what Ja Morant did in this strip club, or in this club that he was in. Music playing, the vibe of that. Trust me, I know that type of bop, that type of energy make you feel the way. I don't know if there's liquor and drinks in the air. We've all been there, and here come the joint. And he's probably holding the camera himself, which makes it lame too. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it lame too. But that's what he did. So even if I toss out the first shit of, you know, the allegations of you punching on some teenager and brandishing a gun allegedly, to this one, this is the video. We all see it. And it's sad because it's like, even though he's a kid and he's only 23 years old, we've seen a lot of kids grow up fast once they're in that level of stardom. The amount of media training that comes around you, the amount of professionalism that comes around, you got these every time these guys sign these deals and There's things that's going on. They go to these offices. They sit as big as some of these superstars are. When it's time to go sit in front of the actual owner of the team, they be humble pie. Their voices is different. It's like some of these people that you see, they exaggerate the way that they talk on camera. When it's time to talk in front of a judge or talk during deposition or litigation or in front of a owner or somebody that cuts the check to you, they don't sound like that. They don't talk like that. They don't come off like that. They don't act like that. They switch that shit up real quick, don't they? Right? It'd be yes, ma'am. And I'm not dissing gun. That's old news to me. It switch, everything changes, right? So I feel like even though he's a kid and he's only 23 years old, so people gonna say that's a man, Adam. Stop calling him a fucking kid. I hear you, but 23 years old, mentality wise, is a lot of childish shit that's still in there. You know what I'm saying? Especially you coming into that type of money, you're going back and grabbing everything you didn't have as a teenager too. You living still some teenager life, you partying it up or whatever. That's all dope. I did it too. But there's got to be enough people around him that realizes like you're not just the bag, like you are one of them. It's his job. You are one of them. We don't give the LeBron Jameses of the world enough credit. He came in, it was the chosen one shit and everything, right? Came in as a kid. LeBron James has never been in trouble. Like no scandals or no wild shit. Didn't get caught on some camera or some audio doing some wild shit or whatever. How did you be one of the biggest household names in the world for that long and never get in trouble? We got to give the LeBron Jameses of the world that type of credit, right? Because you got somebody like him that came in at the same age or a young age, and that type of shit didn't happen. And he was more looked at than Ja Morant at the time, right? So you could blame the people around him, but you also still got to go to the source of it. And it's a letdown because even though you're only 23 years old, dude, there's enough that has happened in your life where you've learned fast enough. Like, I can't do that. I'm signing these autographs and sneakers on jerseys every night to these little kids. I see all these millions of people that follow me. I see the way I got to be careful with my Twitter and my social media and certain things that I put up because it'll end up on ESPN 4 hours later by Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, all these people talking about it. And then you get to see your peers. You get to see stuff that happens to them. There's a lot of stuff that's been laid out for us to be like, okay, I can learn from that. You know what I'm saying? So Ja Morant, I could give him he's only 23, but at the same time, it's like, nah, nigga, sorry, it's true. Like, that was a very, very stupid move. And of course, the NBA is gonna move on you. They gotta set an example. So you'll lose a couple dollars that you're not really gonna miss because of how rich you are. You'll get suspended for a couple games. You know, and the power behind the NBA and the type of attorneys and the type of money that you have, even if those other allegations are true, you know, money runs the world. You probably cut a check and get rid of that. But we expect both of these situations to be gone from everybody's memory 5 or 6 months from now, which is a blessing for the position that he's in right now, which means, dude, smarten the fuck up. And here's the difference as I close this out. The person that respects their own power, the person that respects their own power. If you go through a situation where you got these allegations and somebody just sends them a quick $250,000 and closes that out, or this situation with you brandishing a gun on camera, as lame as it was, and then you miss a couple games, you lose a couple dollars, and then 6 months from now, nobody gives a fuck about none of this. By the time we get to the playoffs, 6 months. By the time we get to the playoffs, nobody gonna be talk about none of this. Respecting your power means that you didn't go through this and tell yourself like, oh, that shit got swept under the rug. I'm gonna do it again, or I'm above the law. No, you get it swept under the rug because of who you are, who's behind you, how much money you have, the power that you have, the power that's around you. You get it swept under the rug, and you tell yourself like, whew, all right, cool. Let me chill. Because if you didn't learn before, you just learned now. That's the important piece right there. Do not come out of situations like this feeling empowered. Like I could just do this type of shit and get away with it. Because that happens all the time. Oh shit, I done robbed that last bank. Nothing happened, word. You start to get empowered. I did this or whatever. I done had this allegation, this girl, I done slapped this nigga on camera. I done punched this nigga off camera. My lawyers just made it go away. Okay, cool. All right. Careful. We watch shit catch up to people. Please, please, Ja Morant. I'm rooting for the young man. I'm a fan of his. Don't nobody want to see this bullshit around his name. Don't nobody want to see him carrying himself like that. Don't nobody want to see him setting that example for us as well. I don't want you on camera every fucking day as an NBA superstar. And then in your personal life, which is your personal life, keep it off camera. But the stuff that you make public, you put out a bad representation of what our success looks like. Don't do that. Don't do that, homie. Don't do that. And if you're not smart or mature enough to understand that, then please let there be people around him that's not pussy to his power or his money that can't tell him to do better. So I think I said enough about Ja Morant at this point. Shout out to 3-Letter in the building. He says, stop blaming his pops. We all saw Ja crying on his pop's shoulder during the NBA draft. So obviously his pops was doing something right. Yeah. Comes a point in a young man's life where subtopic 3, where I feel like your element, your surroundings, and your friends are more influential than your parents. It happens. It can happen in multiple phases in a child or a young man's life. Definitely happens at least once. You know what I'm saying? Think about like if you like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old, right? And your parents say, yo, I need you back in this crib by the time the street lights cut on. But you outside with the fellas. Y'all running around the neighborhood, acting out, doing whatever. You know, let one of y'all say y'all got to be home by the time the street lights come off. What's everybody gonna say? Man, we outside, we outside, right? Motherfuckers be like listening to their friends more than they listen to their parents. How many times your parents say, "Yo, don't do this," and your friends say, "Yo, we doing this," and you like, "All right, we could chalk it up as peer pressure if we want, but it still is what it is." There's a time in every kid or young man's life where their friends are just as influential, if not more, than their parents. What we all need coming up is we need that good foundation from our parents. We need that good social mix from our surroundings and from our friends. And then we need to get to the point of maturity where we become full individuals. When you become a full individual, that's the safest place because your parent could give you shitty game too. Your best friend could give you shitty game too. You get to a place of full independence and maturity within your mentality. If your mother or your father says, don't take on that career because you know it's not worth it or whatever, you might say you bugging and you go turn yourself into a millionaire because you decided to go invest in 20, real estate properties or some shit like that. Or your best friend might say, like, yo, let that shit go, man. Her hair ain't long enough. And that turned out to be the perfect woman for you, man. Like, just fit you perfectly and be in your life forever and give you a beautiful family. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to get to the point of being an individual. You know what I mean? But when you're a celebrity of Ja Morant's magnitude, your surroundings are still important because there's a lot of shit going on. That's also out of your control, things you can't see. You need a good team around you. But that doesn't excuse the responsibility you have on your own. So let's leave Ja Morant alone. I almost said Malone. Let's leave Ja Morant alone. Let's wish the young man the best and make sure that he keeps his head on right and becomes a good continued representation of what he's supposed to be. He's made it. So let's not fuck it up, man. Support that man. Let's not try to tear him down. Let's support him. If he gets to the point where we just can't support him anymore, you know what I'm saying? Then it is what it is. But right now, I just see a young man that made some mistakes. Come on, man, clean that up. Charleston White versus Math Hoffa. Let's jump straight into it. Damn, I didn't know he was gonna spend that much time on Ja Morant. I guess we was really just vibing there, huh? You tried it 215. Good morning, good morning. I see you. Shout out to you. Tried it 215. She's like sorry as true family. She's always in the building. I be seeing Opa Laka in here. I be seeing 3-Letter in here. People that's always regulars on the sorry as true episodes. Appreciate y'all. All right, I'm gonna jump off that and yeah, Charleston White versus Math Hoffa. I think this is definitely gonna be a shorter topic. What lane do we go down with this one? So one of Math's recent complaints towards Charleston White, I seen Math on Vlad. Shout out to Math as always. That's my guy. Math is one of the few people that I fuck with past battle rap and from battle rap. You know, like that's my nigga. Shout out to Math. Shout out to Vlad with the continued dope platform. We get some of the best content from Vlad's channel and the interviews that he brings us and the people that he brings us. Um, Shout out to Saigon. I seen Saigon up there with him. Um, Shout out to Havoc. You know, two hip hop legends there as well. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck don't got Saigon music? Pain in my life. 3 letter. You know pain in my life? Can you freestyle off the head the way that I am when we talk about people like this? Huh? You know pain in my life, right? 3 letter. I don't know who the fuck you think you're dealing with. And shout out to Havoc, of course. We ain't never gonna waste time explaining who the fuck Havoc is. So yeah, we see Math up there, you know, addressing Charleston White, saying that recently Charleston White came out and you know, just spoke on Math's daughter, like this daughter. I seen Math tweet about it. You know, are we respecting the back in this pedophile? He puts up a picture of Charleston White. I seen a recent Charleston White. I think it was a live that he did. He was in his car, and he just goes off. He's just in his car screaming, and he's just saying the most outlandish stuff. Now, back when he said outlandish shit, like I guess he says shit like, you know, F Nipsey Hustle, and he has the whole storyline that he's been trying to pitch that I don't ever follow the character Nipsey Hustle. I follow the real man. The real man. That's who they spoke about at his funeral. You know what I'm saying? Or when he's gone at you know, like let's say certain gangs or whatever, saying that, you know, what they do to the community and this and that, whatever. He's early on, he put a lot of logic in his shit. And I think that's what really catapulted him. You know what I'm saying? I think that was early on my intrigue with him as well, is that we knew that he had a character side to him. We knew that he had this side to him where it's just like, all right, he's doing that for the camera. He's doing that to get booked. He's doing that to stay relevant. He's doing that for the algorithms. We saw that early on. Like, who didn't? But the good thing about Charleston White early on is he was mixing in a lot of good positive gems. He was doing a lot of sorry it's true shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you speak about things that people don't want to speak about, like let's say, for example, and rest in peace, King Von. I would never disrespect that man's legend either. I know he's a very beloved person. But a Charleston White, I just want to use an example of like somebody that the hip hop community holds up and give an example of what Charleston White did and the things that he said that nobody else would say. All right. Charleston White was a guy early on that would come out and say, you know, King Von is a murderer. He's a murder. He murdered X amount of people. He did this, and even after he started rapping, he was still living this type of lifestyle. And you know, we've seen how many joints come out after that. You know, from I think the state police or whatever, or it could have been Fed claims or news that came out, headlines that came out that, you know, he was a suspect in certain murders that he came into after he passed away. So you got a lot of people that say, I've seen on academics, like, yo, if King Von was alive, he'd be in jail or he'd be fighting major cases right now, one or the other. You know what I'm saying? So the lifestyle of King Von, somebody like a Charleston White was coming out and saying like, y'all praise him. Y'all praise that, a murderer, somebody that is doing this to the community and well, and then you got the street side of it where we would say that's the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the lifestyle that they chose. Shout out to Mayben Media. I'll get to that in a second. Multimedia. Appreciate the super chat, homie. So some people would justify it and say that's the lifestyle. You know, like I guess they would be mad at King Von if he was, you know, just out here doing shit to innocent people. But they like, you know, the shit that he's allegedly getting involved with is people that's in that lifestyle, other gangbangers and other people of a certain other possible murderers and shooters and extort, all that type of shit, right? So you pick what side of the gate you stand on. But Charleston White was the person that wasn't scared to come out and take those positions and say like, yo, why y'all supporting that? Why y'all supporting this? He was very, very pro cleaning up the community. He was very, very pro not breaking the law. He was very, very pro let's not gangbang on each other. He was very, very pro let's not kill each other. How many times did he say shit like that? Like, I've never drew my gun or try to kill a black man. So those kind of gems that was mixed in there carried a certain level of respect, but he was wrapping them with shit that people would be very, very scared to say. So he took off. The gems was there and the shock jock shit was there. Fast forward, what we're getting now is no gems. Oh, no, it was this hand. No gems. We're only getting the shock jock shit now. So the video that I seen of him in the car the other day, he's sitting there, he's screaming, F Biggie Smalls and F New York, all y'all can SMD, all y'all, F Faith Evans, F Jay-Z. And it's just like, is there somebody in the world that has a reason to say F Jay-Z? I'm sure there is. There's somebody in the world that didn't get along with Biggie Smalls. I'm sure there is. You know what I'm saying? Is there somebody in the world that came to New York and had a horrible experience and says, I'm never going back there? F New York? Of course there is. Right? But him to just go down the line like that with none of his own personal reasons or explanation of why he's saying these things, it's just full shock jock mode. And I honestly feel like even he knows that. I feel like Charleston White knows that his bookings, his relevance, his peaks of being talked about and everybody speaking about him, it comes from the outlandish shit. It comes from the shock jock shit. It comes from saying the wild shit. It comes from doing the wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody like Charleston White, who isn't really displaying another talent that we can, I guess, get behind and he can monetize for a long term, it's not really there. His main talent is his gift of gab, the way that he talks, right? That's his main talent. But the things that he's talking about and the way that his brain works, it's not easy to get behind it. Like somebody like him doesn't get major sponsorships. Somebody like him doesn't land major TV shows because he's too controversial. People won't touch him. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't end up on the Breakfast Club if you're running around saying F Jay-Z and F Biggie Smalls in New York SMD. So he's already put all these ceilings above him because he's almost stupid enough to really kind of bring down the type of money that he can make. I don't know if he realizes that. Maybe he feels like I was living at this threshold and then I started talking reckless and I got some shows booked. I got more views on the YouTube channel. I got a couple more pennies here and there. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably still double, triple, quadruple what he was making, right? So maybe for him, that's great. But the way that you got to here was by putting a ceiling right here. And there's all this money up here. Once you crack through, you become a celebrity and you become famous. When the whole world knows you and you got all this room to bring your talking talents to, start a TV network, start a TV show. These are the people that would co-sign and be able to give you or put you in these positions, and nobody's going to touch you. Out of alliances, out of sensitivity. The world is sensitive right now. Nobody's going to touch them. So some of his ceilings is getting booked by some of these smaller YouTube channels or these DJs that just want to get some content out of them, right? That's one of his ceilings. Another one is if he's going live and maybe he could sell a t-shirt or two to his diehard faithfuls or some merch to his faithfuls. Another ceiling is like a YouTube channel where he could monetize some ads or whatever. But he's put these ceilings above him. He's burned all these bridges. And when you go all shock mode like that, it's so easy to see. And I think that's why even somebody like Math, like he didn't seem irate about it. Like, yo, this guy mentioned my daughter. I feel like there's a lot of fathers in this world that see red if somebody mentions their son or their daughter. Math's reaction almost seemed like he was almost like, it's disgusting. I feel like he's a clown. I feel like y'all are all bugged out if you support him, but this is expected. And that should be the tone for Charleston White. It is expected at this point. He's going full shock jock mode. I can't even believe that he stands on his gems anymore. That's what he's giving away. The gems that we felt that we was getting from him was just like, yo, he's actually trying to carry a message that a lot of people don't want to say that could actually help us. And he went down this other lane with it. Too much of just getting relishing in the fact that he gets talked about, or people, or T.I. responds to me. I got T.I. responding to me. So who's next for me to fucking curse out and say fuck your kids? Who? Oh, math. That's what it is. That's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So I think he put himself in a position where I'm sure he's going to do things or have certain interviews with certain topics where we're going to click play and say, oh, let's see what Charleston White's opinion on this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to happen. But he can't return from where he put himself. He can't return to a point of getting the coach's true support and breaking back, having an ability to possibly break through some of these ceilings now. That's gone. That's done. You know what I'm saying? And deservingly so. So I think Math handled it well. You don't have to go crazy on somebody like a Charleston White because the whole world knows what he's doing at this point. It's just apparent. Mayben Multimedia. I believe RBE is battle rap in its purest form. Talk that ARP. Oh, fuck that app. Oh, you don't have to say fuck that app. I appreciate that, Mayben Multimedia. Here's a quick subtopic for y'all. I'll put this on camera. I'll put this on record. I've never been a guy that felt like people needed to choose a side, right? I can call names, like these like real stories. I was in a mall this past weekend, and I didn't even get to all my. Here it is. At Cash Kicks, KASHKICKZ, right? Shout out to Cash Kicks. My name is DM me. My name is Cash. I met you today at Okay, cool. So this is somebody that I met in the mall this past weekend, right? And one of the first things that the person said to me is, yo, I'll fuck with RBE and I'll fuck with URL. I watch both of y'all. And my response was, I watch both too. Like, that's always been me. How many interviews do I have to say this type of stuff? I don't want any RBE supporters and RBE fans to feel like they need to pick a side. So, Mayben, I appreciate that super chat, but that's never been me, right? When I said fuck that app, the context of it's on my channel. You go watch it. The context of that comment was that what if we were saying fuck that app because other owners, their ways are saying fuck pay-per-views because they're able to put their content somewhere else. So now they want to go against everybody that's selling a pay-per-view. And I think that's whack. Right. So that was the whole context of that video. Right? I never ever I've passed interviews where I say, like, listen, Black entrepreneurs over there, if that's how they get money, that's how they get money. I've never been a proponent of trying to put your hand in people's pockets. Y'all know that about me. But when you do things directly or indirectly to try to fuck over my company or other companies, I respond. So, Mayben, I appreciate you, but you don't have to choose a side. I just appreciate people that support RBE for being RBE, period. Just like the person I said I just met in the mall. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I watch RB and I watch URL. I was like, me too. Yeah, I don't know. So if people expect me to say anything different, you know what I'm saying? Like, if people meet me in public, you don't have to feel like, like it's that. I don't carry that energy. I just respond when bullshit happens in our direction. That's all. If there's no bullshit happening in our direction, I mind my business. Right? Okay. So that was Charleston White. Whatever. All right, let's get to Eazy The Block Captain. Obviously the problem too. Well, any dick riders source loops are a problem. Because when you're a dick rider, then you carry a high level of bias that jades reality or jades truth. Like, don't say Bullpen is great because John's your cousin. don't say bullpen sucks because a battler that you like didn't get booked over there. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving examples of bias that make the person making the comment corny. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stay real. Just stay honest. If something's good, it's good. If something's bad, it's bad. If something's right, it's right. If something's wrong, it's wrong. That's all. That's all. And that's where the dick riders come in. And dick riders, they don't see wrong even when it's wrong. They, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes people. That's a definition to a degree, right? Make you a dick rider, or one of the elements of becoming a dick rider. So it's not about dick riders of any particular company. It's about dick riders. Period. You should never want to be a dick rider. You should want to be a dick rider for any company, for any personality, for any league owner, any battler, any blogger. Nothing. Don't be a dick rider. Period. Just be a straight up cool person. I gravitate to regular cool people. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. But word true. Shout out to you, Source Loops. Appreciate that. All right. Eazy The Block Captain. So when I opened up this live today, that's one thing I gave a shout out to it, of how much, you know, the Hitman and the Eazy The Block Captain talk is dominating battle rap right now. It's great. It's great to see when we have these moments that kick up so much dust. You know, they end up on I think Eazy went back to Joe Budden's podcast. Shout out to Joe Budden and the whole team over there. You know, he went back up there to talk his talk, you know, continue to promote himself, continue to get his face out there. He's got a YouTube drop for this battle on the way. It's going to do millions of views, him and Hitman, right? And it's good for Chrome 23. It's good for the fans. It's good for everybody. Like, so many people win in this situation. And to see Hitman and Eazy continue to dominate the headlines right now, that's impact. You know what I'm saying? That's impact. It's like you announce Hitman versus Cassidy. Before we got to that face-off, 40%, 50% of the culture was like, who asked? We don't want to see this. But the impact made everybody have an opinion. The impact made everybody turn their heads and talk and say, oh my goodness, right? Good or bad. The impact of this battle. It's a very, very good battle. So it's like, that's a 2-for-1. It's a good situation, and it's impacting the fuck out of battle rap. It's living up to being the biggest booking of the year so far, the biggest match of the year. It's living up to all that, you know, before, during, and after. Remy got what she paid for. She got money worth. You know what I'm saying? And I think us as fans, hopefully most of us got our money's worth too. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully most of our fans got our money's worth too. And shout out to everybody else that was on the card, of course. But let's talk about Eazy. I did see a clip that was on Twitter of Eazy answering questions on Black Compass Media about his career, about what he feels about contracts going forward. For the most part, he was asked, like, you know, you're saying you want YouTube drops, but you've done a lot of business with URL, and they're not doing YouTube drops right now. They've been adamant that no more YouTube. You know, they've given YouTube a certain amount of their career, and they feel like that's not where they're at right now, or that's not where they want to be, or that's not where they're going. Right? And he's just like, well, that's what I need. And then also when it comes to contracts, you know, being in an exclusive contract or not being in one. I don't know the details of Eazy's contract, of course, or any contracts that he's signed in the past. I don't know the details. I haven't read them. I haven't seen them. I haven't asked about them. But obviously, it's a talking point about long-term exclusive contracts, because enough talk and enough people have spoken about them. Enough people have testified that they have them or have signed them or have been offered them. Right. So Eazy seemed pretty adamant, like, I'll never, that's done. Like, if I, and I'm assuming that he's saying that maybe at one point he was interested or maybe did sign one before. I'm not sure. But he's saying that that's done. You know what I mean? And I think the power of a battler in that situation is very important. Probably this topic right here, people would assume that I have a lot of bias towards, right? That's cool. That's cool. You take from this topic what you take from it. But I think I've been very, very consistent over the years saying that the leagues shouldn't have the power. The battlers should have the power as far as the politics or how the culture is steered. and let us be the record labels, right? When I say record labels, I mean doing all the stuff that is outside of the actual talent and the rapping, because Jay-Z doesn't become Jay-Z, or DMX doesn't become DMX without, Def Jam. And I think DMX is a better example. DMX doesn't become DMX that got into his heights without Rough Riders backing him and Def Jam backing him, right? Or coordinating or putting the money up and fronting the money and all of this type. Like, there's just so much that a league or a platform has to do that can complement somebody's talent. But if we're here for battles, you know what I'm saying? There becomes a place. There becomes a mutual neutral grounds that I feel like the league or the platform and the battlers must continue to take for everybody to get what they want. And there's a lot of situations, obviously, where business-wise, it's just not beneficial for everybody to have what they want. We say business is business. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But there definitely are more common grounds than we have shown in our industry. And I think we've created some good ways and a lot of bad ways as well. And I think Eazy The Block taking that position and him being one of the biggest talked about battlers in this culture right now, I think it's important, because every industry needs people, companies, or moments that turn directions towards where other people may want to walk down but are scared to actually take the steps. I'll tell you a quick story. 9/11. Everybody knows what 9/11 is. I was there. I was working in the 4 building at the time. The 4 building is like the small 4 World Trade building. It's like the small building that I think is the 2 or the 1 came down on top of. I was there. First plane hit, my building shook. Look out the window, and we start seeing like little fire plumes and pieces of metal and all that shit just falling down from like the plane that hit the building above us, just falling. We just imagine seeing like just balls of fire and pieces of metal and all this shit coming down outside the window, right? We're like, what the fuck? Couple alarms go off. Everybody starts like looking out the window, trying to look up. Nobody knows. There's a World Trade Center. It was bombed before. So there is that history that makes a lot of people go, whoa, wait a minute. It's a financial district too, which is automatically like a terrorist threat or a terrorist target. But nobody was thinking that it was a terrorist act. Nobody was thinking that people flew them planes in on purpose. Nobody knew that. Nobody even knew it was a plane, right? But all we know is there's some shit going down. Some wild ass shit that's going down right now. So people start running into the hallways. By the time the alarm goes off, people start bugging a little bit. Smart people start avoiding elevators. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, give me the stairs. You ain't getting me stuck in no fucking elevator. And I don't want to laugh because a lot of people lost their lives on 9/11. Rest in peace. But like I said, I was there. I was in the building, dog. I was in the 4 building. Get down the stairs. Now, if you ever was in New York, and if you ever knew the World Trade Center back then, before the planes hit, you knew that in the bottom of the 4 building, it was like a mall. It was like a plaza, the entry ground floor of it. It was also a hub for a lot of trains and the train system, right? A lot of trains came and stopped through there. A lot of different railroad tracks and all that type of shit under the ground of the 4 building and shit. And it was literally a mall. You had sneaker stores and clothes stores and watch stores and all this shit, right? So when we get out the stairs and get down to that ground floor, there's thousands of people there, because once again, it's a hub for the trains and the shopping and everybody that works there. It's thousands of people. Everybody starts moving towards this exit. It's literally like me and like at least 1,000 people as a group formulating in front of all these doors to go outside, right? It's 2 security guards standing in front of these doors. It's like, everybody stay inside. Everybody chill out. Everybody just calm down, calm down, calm down. Everybody stay right here. Don't go outside. Downtown Manhattan is like most of these cities. You're going to see a lot of homeless because there's so many people with money walking by. A lot of homeless people's out there with their cups, hustling, trying to get their little, hookups or lookouts or whatever. was a homeless girl. She put literally, like, you hear the voice coming from the back. Excuse me, move. And I'm turning over my shoulder because I'm in the front by the doors. 2 security guards in front of like 1,000 people. This girl, this homeless girl, she pushes her way through, kind of nudges towards the guys next to me, which kind of pushes me too a little bit. Gets to the front of like this 1,000 people. Security guards there, hold on, pushes him out the way, says, get the fuck out my way, and darts through the fucking door. This homeless girl. When she did that, the whole mob moved. The whole 1,000+ people moved and just said, yeah, why the fuck are we standing here? Fuck these 2 niggas. And everybody followed outside. I go across the street. I'm standing in front of Century 21. Everybody knows Century 21 on Broadway right there at that point. It's right across the street from the Twin Towers. I hear the second plane coming. That shit hit. I looked up and I was close enough to feel the fire, the big fire plume of the explosion of the plane hitting. The second plane hit. I felt the fire hit, took the fuck off, made my way to the fucking Staten Island ferry, got on the ferry, couldn't make outgoing calls at that time, right? All the cell phone networks was jammed, but my phone was still getting incoming. I was lucky. My brother Shata, co-owner of RBE, calls me while I'm on the ferry. He says, yo, one of the buildings just dropped. I said, get the fuck out of here. By the time I landed on Staten Island side, got on the bus, or I don't know if I was parked there, but I took the bus in my car, got back to the crib, put the news on. I said, oh shit, one of the buildings dropped. That's like an emotional story for me. It's definitely an emotional story for me because it's like we was there. Like, could have died in a situation like that, of course. But the whole point, the reason why I share stories like that, I might feel like I went off topic. I'm really just talking about that girl. I'm talking about that girl where you got 1,000 people there and there's 2 people that standing in front saying, this is what we should do. And this girl said, no, that's not what we should do. And she ran through and then everybody followed. That's the point of my story. Correlate that to Eazy. Agree with him or disagree with him. There is a lot of area for growth with these battle rappers. And when they stay in pocket of these norms of what battle rap is, they maintain these ceilings over them. And sometimes these ceilings just like, it's just regular day, you know, just come and go. And you go 5-10 years, you realize like you've been on the same hamster wheel. I know I have a lot of content on this channel talk about this, and I talk about self-progression a lot. I don't know how many people actually leave with that mentality after we talk like this to each other, but that's always been my sentiment. My sentiment has always been, I got mine, man. I want to support you, go and get yours. I've always been like that. Always been like that. And to see certain people that take, and it's not just Eazy, you know, the hitmans of the world too, the person that he battled. So I ain't going for this. I ain't going for, he don't go for certain shit with me. Yo, holla, man, come on, man. Take this 20 grand and do this battle. Look, man, my brother AR, I ain't doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? You have, even RBE to a degree, hate us, love us, agree with us, disagree with us. We became a black sheep of saying there's just things within this industry that we disagree with. So we're going this way. There's a lot of people that say they come into a culture, battlers, media, bloggers, and leagues that'll come in and they'll look around and they'll say, okay, this is how it's going. Okay, cool. Let me join the train and go the same direction. Let me just get in the same lane and drive with all the other cars. It takes somebody or something to say, hold on, I don't like the direction that y'all driving, and I'm not scared to take this exit over here and get on this other highway. And I think for Eazy to be publicly saying, whether you agree or disagree with him, that he's trying to take his own career in his own hands, I think is powerful. Eazy. There's a lot of battlers that's too scared to do anything that creates ripples. I'm not saying what Eazy did is right or wrong. I'm just saying that there's too many people scared to be on their own or to bet on themselves or to take control of their own and just say, this is how I feel, right? Because the same people sometimes that will tell you business, 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 or will show from common practice the way certain things will happen when it's in my favor and when it's what I prefer. You got to be able to also do what's right for you. And I'm not saying it's about selfishness, right? Because selfishness, I saw Mook's interview too. Mook got an interview where they asked him about Eazy and Chrome 23 and everything. And they asked him about the controversy. And Mook said, yo, he said, you got to be a scumbag and you got to be selfish in business. He said, Smack is my brother, but when it's time to do business, you got to talk to my team. Separate the two, right? Separate it. And it's the same thing that I try to do with anybody that I'm close with in battle rap. When it's time to do business, I understand it. Outside of that, we fuck with each other a certain way. When it comes down to the money that I got to spend or the money that you got to make, we got to keep that business, right? We got to keep that selfish to a degree, right? The type of favors that we do is just really just called negotiations. I don't really get favors. I get negotiations that help the overall situation, and I do the same, right? I think that's a balance that we all need to pay attention to, because this brother and this sister and the word loyalty, it just came out recently. Shout out to Chris. I saw Chris's blog that he just put up about Eazy and Remy and what this means for Eazy and what this means for Remy, etc. Right. And he said, people have called out like, yo, where's the loyalty? And I found that so convenient and so ironic. It's just like, first of all, in business, if we're talking about separating the personal from the business, I gave the example of what Mook just said publicly in an interview. I'm giving examples of how I try to deal with people, et cetera, right? Loyalty really is not supposed to be bundled with the absolute business piece. There's things around the business and the way that people carry themselves, the way that people have their own morals and character traits that actually bring in directly and indirectly loyalty. That's fine. That's dope. That's good. I do that too, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But conveniently calling loyalty in situations like, let's say, Eazy, for example, I think is weird, me personally. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a little odd. It's like if Rosenberg Raw is publicly clearly has the perception of being an RBE guy, but he gets a call to be offered a deal that would take him off of RBE, then you're not thinking about loyalty then, right? So I think Eazy ran through that door, if you caught the story. You know what I'm saying? He walked through that door. And there's been people that has done that before. And I feel like people just need to pay more attention to what truly, truly will benefit them in the grand scheme. Because battle rap, if it's not creating you longevity, if it's not building your savings account month by month, if you don't foresee yourself being in the same position 5 years from now that you're in today, right? Then you need to make sure that you take control of any opportunities that are current. That's all I would say about that. So shout out to Eazy and shout out to Hitman. Shout out to Chrome once again. Don't ask me who I got winning, man. I'm tired of that debate. Shout out to P. Smith. Is it counterproductive to sign another league already? Easy. I never thought that you needed to sign exclusive contracts to leagues. MC War, y'all are doing great over there, ARP. I appreciate that. And shout out to MC War, man. Y'all have done a lot of innovative stuff too. Shout out to MC War in the building. I've never really, that's obvious. I've said it for years. Even when we started doing contracts at RBE, there was a big question mark. Like ARP's whole legacy is anti long-term contracts. So what are they doing? Why would they do that? It's because it's completely different. The long-term contracts have been absolutely tied to exclusivity and limiting factors for other opportunities or other platforms that these battles would or could perform on, right? So that is 1000% not ever going to be a part of an RBE signee. I explained that, and I had to explain that coming out because people was just like, "Whoa, whoa, what are you doing? Is this exclusive? Are you doing the same thing?" No way, no way. You know what I'm saying? So I've given examples of caution. Caution could end up on the first round of Chrome 23 the day after she battles Bonnie on my card. One of us could possibly lose out from that. I'm not saying, yo, don't do that. I'm saying, yo, there's opportunity to go make that money and get that look. Go. Just make sure you get on the stage and you you hold it down. You the one that signed both contracts, right? You got your reputation to take care of too. You got fans watching you, right? That's what's always been important to me. That's what's always been important to me. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of battlers. There's one on our next card that's already locked in that brought a situation to me after he was contracted and told me like, yo, I just got offered this. And you would think, given the nature of battle rap and the politics in battle rap, especially in my shoes, I would say nope. But I didn't. I didn't. And I think that battler appreciates shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So now when it comes to when we announce our card and we get up on that stage, I expect shit like that to come full circle. Is there business there? Of course. But the opportunity is not being limited by somebody like me in that particular instance. And I expect stuff like that to come back. And if it doesn't, then I'll bank it and I'll be like, okay, I moved a certain way and you didn't meet me halfway. But when I move a certain way and you meet me halfway, somebody like me is like, that's why I can fuck with you. We both did right by the situation. And I think that's all that's required. You know what I'm saying? But okay. That's easy to block shit. I'll look at the chat for a couple. We'll never forget about y'all family picnics. I'll stop there before black employee says I'm doing too much. Like, I don't know what that means or who that's for. What type of work did you do at the Ford building, stocks trading? I'll tell you that. I'll tell you one thing, man. I was in there. Has gone corporate. RBE has remained focused on their business mission. I appreciate that. ARP, keep up the great work. Thank you once again, MC War. Lexington is tweaking, face purple crying. I don't know what that's about. All right. I'll leave that topic alone. Damn, we an hour and 20 in. I still got some more topics. Let me jump to Michael B. Jordan, man. Let me not spend any more time there on that. Michael B. Jordan jumped into headlines again recently. Right, let's pick this back up. We don't want no somber feelings, man. Like I said, that 9/11 topic was a little emotional for me. I was there, so like, damn, think about the possibilities of how that day could have turned out. It's crazy. Woo! Gave me the chills giving that little story to y'all. But Michael B. Jordan, man, jumped into headlines recently for that, comment that he gave to that reporter on the red carpet. Let's go back a second. I feel like a lot of us first came to know who he is from The Wire, right? That's where most of us seen him for the first time. I think the progression of that young man is dope. Becomes a Hollywood titan, co-stars in such a mega blockbuster movie and series like the Black Panther. It's a huge movie. That movie set records when it came out, right? He's got this Creed. I don't even want to say Creed movie or series. I'll say franchise. Creed franchise, right? It's huge. I thought the first one was decent. I thought the second one was trash. I'm not going to see the third one. But I'm glad that he's doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's dope. He's getting voted like the world's sexiest man or most attractive man and all that. We all remember back. It was at that award show where Nicki Minaj kind of shouted him out, like, shout out to XYZ that made this dress and Michael B. Jordan. That's going to be taking me out of that. I don't know if he got to that or if he took up on that or if she was just bullshitting. But if I was him, I would have found out night of. Listen, you got to take those opportunities. Isn't that what 50 did? 50 was at an award show and he shouted out Vivica Fox. Next thing we knew that they was fucking, right? I did the same thing. Nicki Minaj, get her ass up there and say that shit. I'm in the crowd, say that shit. Even if I wasn't there, I would have. If I'm Michael B. Jordan, I'm flying there and I'm watching it live. I'm flying it that night. I'm like, Nick, you said what? All right. Put that to the test. You stand on that shit. Oh shit. Yo, the Michael B. Jordan take down Nicki for that or what? But yeah, man, the dude gets a lot of love. He gets a lot of love with the ladies. Good for him. You know what I'm saying? Good for him. I mean, he grew up to a very successful young man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, coming from the wire, that skinny kid with the braids on the wire, right? I don't know if a lot of us saw because he wasn't even he did a good job on the wire and he played a significant role on the wire. But it's not like he had a standout, super standout performance. Acting wise and performance wise, Bodie was doing a better job than him. I think acting wise, you know what I'm saying? So it's dope to see him get to this point. So fast forward, he has this red carpet thing that makes headlines, right? Where he's getting interviewed by somebody that he knows from like old school days or something like that. And the girl's on the carpet and he says to her, like, oh yeah, you remember I'm the one that was corny, right? And I see a lot of backlash that he's gotten for saying that. Am I missing something? I watched what I thought was the whole interaction. He's on the red carpet. You know, when you're on the red carpet, you got a bunch of people, microphone in your face, do a couple of interviews, you stop, give a couple sound bites, you keep it moving. You're there to promote. It's normally a premiere or something. Maybe they're premiering Creed in that city or showing a private shooting, a showing or something like that. Shit like that's red carpet, right? So he's there, and when he says that to her, I feel like because of who he is and because he's this heartthrob and all these women are on him right now and he's getting voted sexiest man, for him to say that to a woman, a get back quote, I feel like people just brought controversy his way. Because what I saw after he said that, I still felt like he still handled that interview with class and professionalism. He sends his little shot that I guess was for them. And then after that, he continued to talk on her platform, whoever she was representing at that time. His co-star comes on camera with him. He gives the whole little funny little drop in that and back and forth in that little moment. After his co-star gets off of camera, he continues to, give this girl an interview. Everything seemed regular. But I think because she's a woman and he's got this appeal to him, he got this backlash. I got two issues here. The first one, we're going to say this. Who doesn't love or like or relish in or enjoy or partake in a good revenge story? And I know this doesn't seem like a deep situation, but using the word revenge to make the point. Who doesn't enjoy that? How popular was the Mike Jones shit back then? They didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Even Drake. Drake got lyrics saying, "Oh, I'm gonna murder his lyrics right now." But Drake had that shit. Might make everybody walk through security clearance. Talk about like if you had a get together back at his own school or something like that. And that's a subtopic within itself. I always thought it was funny for these rappers to basically talk about fast forward. Now that I'm this, they all on me. Whether you Mike Jones, whether you Drake, that just basically just exposing yourself, saying that people didn't fuck with you when you was young, or you was lame, or you wasn't in the in crowd, or the girls didn't like you then, or now that you got money or fame or celebrity, now they fuck with you. That's actually kind of whack. I wouldn't want to be that. I would want to be the person that when I was young, they fucked with me. You know what I'm saying? Now you come to know me on a more famous level. It's just like, oh, I remember him. He was putting on back then too. The girls was chasing him back then too. He was getting fly back then too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather that, but whatever. To each his own. So obviously, and we're talking about back like in the Wire, like nobody saw this sex appeal, sex symbol coming when you was watching the Wire. Right? I didn't hear no women screaming all of this shit then. But who doesn't love a good revenge story? And the second point about it is why are we gonna act like women gotta be above that, or that they can't receive that from a man? Because if it was the other way around, nobody would be in these headlines. If it was somebody of his magnitude or stardom as a woman, and it was a man that was doing an interview on the red carpet, right? So obviously, like she's here as an interview and he's here as this megastar, right? If the roles were reversed and it was Nicki Minaj walking down and giving some guy, and she said, "Oh yeah, remember you was calling me ugly back then?" Everybody be like, "Ah, look at you now, stupid. You probably want her now," right? So it's a sexist thing, and I hate as a society when we pick and choose what to back based on gender, because at one moment it'll be this oversensitive society God forbid you being sexist. God forbid you trying to look at a particular gender, or I don't know if I should also classify mixed gender to stay out of trouble, or whatever the case may be. And you want to look at somebody in a more sexist way or give certain rights or abilities to one side or the other. God forbid you do that. God forbid you do that. And I do understand, like, there's always going to be a tone of man, woman in this world, as there should be. A man is always going to have the reputation of being the stronger, the protector. The woman is always going to have that perception of being more maternal, being more loving, right? That's always going to be the nature of man, woman, right? But when we talk about the outcome of, like, let's say, interactions, or what happened on that red carpet. Look what Chris Rock said when he was talking about, like, for example, we say never put your hands on a woman, right? And it's funny, we're gonna get to Chris Rock's new Netflix series in a second. He said, never put your hands on a woman. He said, listen, there's a reason to put your hands on anybody, just don't do it. There's a reason to beat up an old woman, just don't do it, right? There's always got to be some gray area there. You're not gonna tell me this woman pulled a knife on me, so don't punch her in her fucking face because she's a woman. Get the fuck no, like, we're not doing that. And that's the thing. You can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose. So not only did it look like he handled it pretty well, but he took his little deserving shot back. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't try to drag the man now because y'all want to put him in this mega stardom, which he earned or which he deserves, and then all these women is on him. Now you're like, oh, you did that to a woman. Okay, but he's human. I remember how you looked at me and how you treated me, and now look where we at right now. And I'm still going to give you a respectful, clean interview, but I'm still going to remind you of what you did. What the fuck is wrong with that? And I feel like women shouldn't be backing that. Women shouldn't be like, oh, Michael B. Jordan, you did that to a woman. Why we can't look at it like why she wasn't treating him a certain way before he wasn't a star? Because when you look at it from that perspective, if it's like you treating me different now, then I have the right to look at you as being some money hungry, or you basically relish or you equate how you would treat others based on their success or what they have or materials, or if I become a heartthrob, right? Everybody want to talk about, no, it's what's on the inside, but y'all are proving that it's not what's on the inside, because now that he is who he is and he's grown, right? It's an issue. Nah, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. He was still young and mature enough to conduct that interview and be cool. But there's nothing wrong with the young man taking his little clap back. Like, yeah, I remember. I'm here now. I was the corny kid, right? And you got to realize too, certain words take on a certain weight, especially for a man, right? You got your oh, he's a punk, or he's pussy, or he's a bitch. Right? There's certain things that's like really universal, but there's other things that could pull on a man's character. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be called corny. You know what I mean? Like, yo, he's a corny ass nigga. Like, if a woman calls a man corny, think about what that means. Like, it's like everything about him, like the way he carries himself, the way he talk, the way he dressed, the way he look. You know, it's just like, nobody, what man wants to be that? You know what I'm saying? And what if he really was that to a lot of people back then? But now here I am and the roles is reversed. Now you deserve your little shot because you treated me so much different now. So he gave her little fucking reminder and she deserved it. And then he kept it moving. While we got this whole uproar that he did this girl so dirty, she got her little shot that she earned. And it actually makes her look like, yo, you flipped. Don't be somebody that flips then. Be somebody that fucked with me back then. What type of man or woman do you want? Do you want the one that fucks with you because all of a sudden they watch you become a millionaire, become famous? Or do you want the one that supported you or believed in you or your aspirations when you was corny, right? Because didn't they say that she was just like, yo, like, what are you going to do with those little headshots? The headshots that you take is your pictures that you try to like shop around when you're trying to land roles and get gigs and shit like that. So they didn't believe in them. You know what I'm saying? Somebody did. Now, fast forward, everybody does now, and it's circumstantial. Making it circumstantial is shallow. It's shallow. Who wants a shallow man or a shallow woman? So when you see those type of attributes, get your little shot. He got his little shot off, man. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Y'all had this big uproar because the man got his little clap back. Like, I remember you called me corny, but it's all good. Let's do this interview. I got you. Fuck out of here. And y'all being sensitive as shit. Let that man rock. Really? When I was growing up, we called weak men noodles. Oh shit. See that? Nobody want to be called that. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Don't nobody want to be a weak man. Don't nobody want to be a noodle. All right. And a bunch of women, around a bunch of women. You think I want to be corny? Be called corny? Be labeled corny by women? Shit. In my school, if you was labeled corny by the women, it was done. Come on, man. Yeah, I definitely feel like they were sensitive for that. He reminded her that she called him corny. He's wrong. Nah, fuck that. He's human. He sent a little clap back, and she obviously was being shallow and deserved it. Fuck it. She ain't above it because she's a woman. Let her get her little reminder. Next time, be humble to everybody. Fuck that. All right, man. Chris Rock, the new Chris Rock special. Did y'all see it? Did y'all enjoy it? Y'all fuck with it? I guess the highlight of it. Well, no, I shouldn't say the highlight is the part where he's addressing Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. He has some good stuff in there. Man, it's just as I'm watching this, I'm so into stand-up comedy where I just see the levels, man. It's like Chris Rock is a legend. Chris Rock does a great job up there on that stage. But as I'm watching him do his callbacks, and to me, a callback is something where you drop a joke, you know what I'm saying? Like about like his daughter biting people, right? If anybody that's watched it, I don't want to spoil it. But when he's doing like a callback, he's talking about his daughter biting people, and then he gets onto another topic, and then he mentions that again in like an indirect way where it ties in. That's like a callback to me. Chappelle did that when he did the whole skit of the baby selling drugs on the corner, right? And then at the end, he's talking about the girl giving birth on the dance floor. And nobody's thinking about the baby anymore. But he's like, the baby is the one that pops out, like, yo, what's up, man? I got it for cheap. That's a callback. He was like, yo, I didn't expect you to bring that back. You know what I'm saying? But you tie it in and you do callbacks within your material. And I just watch how Chris Rock delivers his content, and he's a legend. He's great. But damn, Dave Chappelle is the GOAT. It's just like seeing the way that man intermingles his material. It's like they all know this. Kevin Hart's of the world, they all know this, that Chappelle, the way that he delivers, the way that he does his stories, the way that he goes in and out of his material, the way he does his callbacks, the way he builds up. Like there was some jokes that Chris Rock built up in this special. And then the punchline, I was like, that's all I get out of that whole 5-minute buildup. Like that's the payoff. Like that's it. That one little, I don't know. It's just like, it's cool. But it's just levels, man. It's just levels. Chris Rock, I think he's got a couple good ones under his belt. I think this is definitely worth the watch. But it's not great. It's not classic or anything like that. But let's get, of course, to, the end. Him flat out addressing Will Smith, kind of putting in a joke and everything like that. Called Jada Pinkett a bitch. Flat out called Jada Pinkett a bitch, right? From his side of the story, seems justified, right? Seems justified. Kind of trying to break down where this tension or this stuff back and forth supposedly started. Of him landing a role that Will Smith was up for, and then she did a call out to him and he responded to whatever the case may be, right? But the whole thing of him breaking down, it's like, let me rag on y'all for a second now. You're dealing with a couple that publicly put themselves out there about their what was it called? Entanglement. He said everybody in this room has been cheated on before. All of us has been cheated on before. But here you got these two megastars. What type of situation is it where y'all interview each other about the cheating? Like you're literally sitting there, and this is why everybody called Will Smith a bitch in that moment. Like you sitting there in front of Jada with your eyes turning red and your eyes wailing up. You know what I'm saying? Because of this whole shit with August Alsina or whatever, right? Of her fucking this young guy, like this entanglement, and you're interviewing him, your husband, publicly about you fucking around. Like y'all look crazy. And I think that it was good for Chris Rock to highlight that, because who does that? Who the fuck does that? How do you put him in that situation? And here's something that Chris didn't say, but I took from that as well. And whether he meant to put this tone out there or not, I didn't get the vibe that this is what he meant, but this is what I felt. He said at that point where he did that interview, people were sympathetic to Will. People were anti Jada Pickett at that moment, like, damn, that's fucked up. Then the footage comes out of how she like in the crib and she's like Instagramming him. And he's like, damn, they're like, yo, come on, you know, Instagram's my bread and butter. Don't do that. It's like she's fucking running the crib and just pissing him off all the fucking time. People were sympathetic towards Will. But at the same time, everybody called him a bitch. Everybody's calling him a bitch. Chris Rock hinted that, or not hinted that, he pointed that out. That's true. Everybody was like, yo, how you got this little Jada Pickett? And of course, she's a little ball of fire. She comes off like this, you know, sturdy, aggressive little girl or short girl, whatever. But you got her up here fucking around in your face and interviewing you on TV about it. And you look, and you're one of the biggest Hollywood megastars ever. There was a point where people was like, yo, he could be a black president. There was that point. There was that wave. Like he could be in politics. Will Smith. Like when Chris Rock makes that point, to me, I feel like that goes over people's heads as far as Will Smith throwing that slap at that award show. And I say this about people all the time. I feel like when you really pussy in your heart, I'm not saying Will Smith, right? I'm just making a different point now. When you really pussy in your heart, or let's say you have a bunch of situations. I had a man in my life when I was a kid, right? I was dating my mother. And it was one of the sturdiest men now I'm getting this topic again, just like we just did for 9/11. One of the sturdiest men I ever met, right? This guy was like a super alpha, a man's man. Like this dude beat me up in front of my mother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why he beat me up. He beat me up because it was his birthday. And remember when we was young, you know what I'm saying? However, whatever your age is, you get the punches on your arm or something like that. It was his birthday. Big guy, he stood there and I gave him his punches. Now I'm hitting him. He's not budging. And when I was done hitting him, he grabbed me, threw me on the floor. He tore me the fuck up, tore my arms and my legs the fuck up. I was crying. He beat, like he pummeled my shit. Like my shit is all sore and fucked up, right? Hey, my mom was like, yo, y'all stop. Like she didn't stop him or nothing. I felt the way like, yo, your man just beat the shit out of me. He was like, keep your fucking hands to yourself. I'm like, yo, but that's what we do. We all punch each other. He said, I don't play that game. Y'all play that. Not certain games ain't for everybody. That was a lesson within itself. And I was like, okay. And he told me, he was like, yo, I didn't budge. I sat there, I let you punch me, but that shit hurt. You punching me in the same spot 40 times. Probably in his 40s at that time. So that shit hurt. Let me return the favor and show you how it feel. It's like all learning lessons and gems. You know what I'm saying? So the context of me going off on that for a second, getting into this little sub story, is like another thing that he taught me is to avoid people that have pent up moments where they didn't live up to the call, right? And he taught me that. He said, you're going to have times in your life where you're going to be tested. Your heart is going to be tested. Let's say it's two people that walk up to you and you feel like are you going to run or you're just going to get your ass kicked? And when you go through those life tests, you know what I'm saying? Like it changes your character. It changes who you see in the mirror. It changes things about you. Now, I know other people I grew up with, they've had certain life tests, and I know they walked away from the situations like Trey and Boys in the Hood, and they punch in the air when they get home. Like, oh, I wish I would have did this. Or I wish it went this way. I wish it happened. That shit festers in your heart. That shit festers in your chest, especially, I don't know about y'all women, but as a young man growing up, that shit, I watched it turn some of my people that I hung out with, turn them out. Where they started showing out later on, they started acting tough or whatever. I've always saw that. that if you have these moments where you feel like you didn't live up to a certain thing and it festers in your chest, you find all these little outlets to put it out. You know what I'm saying? To try to get the reputation off you or get it out of your own chest and prove to yourself. So when you look in the mirror, you say, I'm not that. I'm this. Right. And I think that whole entanglement situation that could have happened to Will. And this is all pieces that I'm taking from Chris Rock's Netflix and Netflix show that just came out. And he didn't explain this. This is just like making me think deeper into it. Like when the whole world sat there and said, yo, you sat there with your wife and she did this and she got you out here looking like this. You a bit, you got the whole world calling you a bitch. Somebody's gonna pay for that. I ain't taking it out on Jada. Can't walk around taking it out on your kids, right? Somebody's gonna pay for that. And Chris Rock, I got enough history with you, and you gave me enough just now where I'm releasing this whole situation on you. So when Chris Rock gets into that, the end of his show, and he's going at, Will, and he calls Jada a bitch. You know, so he talk about that entanglement situation. He's like, nigga, the whole world called you a bitch, but you hit me. It's like, think about it. Yeah, it hit you because he formulated all of that in his chest, and you were the release. You were the release. He chose you to be the release in that moment. You gave him the perfect situation. Like, I let it all go on you. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you walk around with those type of demons. You know, you could look somebody dead in their face and you can see happiness. They smiling, whatever. They got everything in the world. Good, beautiful family, beautiful home, rich, fame, all that type of stuff. There's demons in there though. And you never know how somebody's gonna let it go. Chris Rock found out how he let it go. Right. So I think I didn't want to spoil it, but that was like one of the things that was going on in my mind as I was watching the closing like 10, 15, 20 minutes or whatever of the new Netflix series or show that Chris Rock just did. And think about it, y'all. Go check it out because like I said, it's not great, but Chris Rock has always been good. He's always been pretty good as a stand-up comedian. So it's a good show. And drop me a comment on this video here after you watch the end when he's talking about Jada and Will and the situation, him getting slapped. Tell me how you feel about this. Do you feel like it's a festive moment? Because like I said, I was taught that when I was young. I was showed that when I was young. And I also seen it with my own eyes when I was young. And I listened to Chris put that together at the end. I was just like, you know what? That's really what I'm chalking it to for what happened with Will. Clone Me 12. Playing devil's advocate. If you was Will, would you have done that? Well, based on shout out to you, clone Me 12 for the super chat. Based on what I just told you about my belief of what possibly happened and the festering within his chest, that wouldn't have happened to me, because what was happening in my household with Jada or my family or this entanglement is something that I wouldn't have let fester. I would rather get to that situation. I got to get past it privately, or I got to leave the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm not gonna act like it's that easy, with a family of that magnitude. You got all this stuff going on, and y'all all love each other. But come on, like doing it publicly could fuck with you as a man. That was just a bad thing to do for your own mental, and mental health is like a thing, right? That's bad for your own mental health to sit up there and we're seeing you all teary and red-eyed in front of Jada as y'all are talking about her fucking this other little kid, this other young nigga that's like damn near her son's age, y'all son's age. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And then the backlash that comes from the public of you being this huge figure, not being such a viral situation, you're going to carry that around. It's like you took a wrong that should have been in private and you made it even more public. And then you put yourself out there for the world to compound it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't know. All right, real quick, I'm gonna jump through these last little pieces. They're not topics. I'm just gonna say, Snowfall. I don't really like it. I don't know if y'all are watching Snowfall on Hulu. I didn't like it from the last season. I thought it was getting real cheesy and corny and stupid. This season, I don't like the way everything just feels too accessible. I feel like there's just a lot of things. It's like when you got a lot of scenes, a lot of scenarios where you're just like, yeah, right. You got all those year rights. It's just, I don't know. I'm too invested. I'm gonna finish it, of course. I already did all those other seasons of Snowfall. It's just not a good show to me. It's a couple cool little moments. Y'all already built up a couple characters, but I just don't like it. It's just not that great. So shout out to anybody that's watching Snowfall. If you're not watching The Last of Us, convert over. If you got to find something to do with an hour or 45 minutes to watch a show, go watch The Last of Us. That last episode of The Last of Us was crazy, where they show you the backstory for Shorty, the main character, the little girl. Um, that episode was so crazy. It was dope. It's so well done. The acting is great. The cinematography is great. The way that they weave the story as they go into the past and the present is great. The Last of Us is doing such a good job, man. Go spend your time watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? This Snowfall shit, unless you invested in it like I am, you ain't missing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And last but not least, did y'all enjoy the Jones fight last night? I thought it was very, very weird that I go to buy the pay-per-view and I'm looking around and it's just like they're forcing you to subscribe to ESPN Plus. So you would like have like a month-to-month subscription and buy the pay-per-view. That was very weird to me. To me, if I want to, and the pay-per-view I think was $79.99, $80, right? I want to see the fight. Just let me come spend my fucking $80 and then let's go our separate ways. Like that's it. Don't force me to buy your bundle or your package. You guys seen that shit bundled with Disney Plus and ESPN Plus bundle. You buy this, or you can just get the ESPN Plus by itself and this year subscription or whatever. And the pay-per-view, you got to buy that. Like what? Like what kind of business is that? Like, that was real weird to me. That was weird, real weird to me. But anyway, Jones won. He won real fast. He submitted him real fast from a front choke. At first, watching it live, it didn't even look like anything happened. It was like, yo, was this fight just thrown? You know what I'm saying? Like, who just bought one of these niggas off at Vegas? But you watch the replays, like, oh no, he had him. He had him. I don't know how y'all feel about Jones as a heavyweight, but they're calling him the GOAT, of course. So and I don't tune into as much UFC as I used to. If Jones is fighting, I'm buying it. You know what I'm saying? You can't miss that. It's like Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying, on the UFC side, of course. But the other fights gave you some of your money's worth, but this was just a quick go across the ring tactically. He got a takedown. He slid a punch, got the man's back, took him down, dragged him down, pushed him up against the gate, got spun around. They were, forward, got leverage on him, dropped the choke in on him, put that pressure on him a little bit, tap, I'm out. It was just real fast. Wasn't really an entertaining fight tactically and skillfully. If you're an MMA person, you probably love the artistry of that, of still what it takes to grab another professional, take him down, get him up in a certain position, get into a certain position yourself, get the leverage there. I mean, there's certain things that they're doing, like you're dragging on his hips to make sure he can't get up, because when you watch it on TV, if you're not into fighting, you would think like, all right, he's just holding your hips. They just stand the fuck up. There's a lot of tactical shit going on where they like hook your legs and they drag down their weight on your weight. They have certain angles and movements that prevent you from it's just the professionalism and the skill to it is there. So I know MMA people saw that last night. It was just like, yo, what he did was masterful. He did that to another professional. But if you just spent that $80 to see a quick Jones fight and looking for like a little bit more action, maybe another second or a third round, a couple people getting some punches and some kicks landed on them, whatever, that's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there fucking like 12:30, 1 o'clock, whenever the fuck it came on. And that's all that really happened in the main event. So shout out to Jones. He got his dub, but it wasn't the most entertaining fight anyway. So it is what it is. But all right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This was a 2-hour episode. Sorry It's True, episode 15. I appreciate all y'all that was here and rocked out. I think we got up to like 500 plus people, like 550 people in here hanging out on an early Sunday morning for 2 hours with us. So I appreciate y'all. Remember, this Saturday we in VA for the RBE intake card. Keep your eye out for Will versus Hollow about to drop, and we might put a pre-sale up along with that. I suggest highly you get your ticket, regardless of how much of the announce or what's the way we decide to announce it to you or whatever. Even if we give y'all a teaser, I suggest highly you get your ticket. You know what I mean? But I'll get to chopping down this episode right here, try to get them up into individual pieces. And we will be back for episode 16 ASAP. I don't know if I'll wait until this upcoming weekend to do that, or if I'll find some time to get to episode 16 real quick. Drop me comments on this video too. Let me know what topics y'all want me to get into, whether it's battle rap, whether it's politics, whether it's success talk, whether it's drama, whether it's industry, whether it's hip hop, whether it's movies. Let me know what topics y'all want me to get into. I'll try to rock out with y'all, of course, as always, because as y'all see, I enjoy doing these live with y'all. I mean, I could easily sit down and just record it, chop it up, and then drop it to the channel. But when I get to do this live with y'all, I get to see some of y'all comments, some of y'all feedback, some of y'all thoughts. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. We get to get here and rock out. So drop me some comments and I'll come back with some of the topics I'll choose that y'all toss at me. But yeah, it's your boy. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitter and IG at ITSARP. Once again, sorry it's true. Episode 15. I appreciate y'all for rocking out. I'm out of here. You already.